This project started when I found that students had become bored with our traditional content in our evolution lab. With the help of my own children, I decided to use Minecraft to try to recreate or create new content to replace the traditional evolution lab content. So I created a series of documents in Pages that walked students through simulations of evolution scenarios. So I had to start with the basics of how to use Minecraft because I wanted someone to be able to use this from ground zero, and then I walked through all the various steps of any given simulation, from data collection to data analysis. And I let students engage in these labs either synchronously or asynchronously. And this is an example of what a student might do in the asynchronous lab. They follow the directions of the simulation, they keep track of their progress, their data collection, their data analysis, and then they report their results at the end with a series of post-lab questions. And this is what the synchronous lab looks like. So I created sheet pens for all 10 students in the lab, and there are name tags on each student's pen so they know which pen to run their simulations in, and then they can basically go through and collect. One problem that I had with the scenario is that I could only have 4 students in this world with me at one time with the technological limitations that I had. So in any given lab period, we sort of had to cycle in and out, 4 students in at once for half an hour, and then the next 4 students in, and so forth. And for the synchronous lab, we had a numbers document that was shared with everyone in the class, and everyone had their own sheet in the worksheet where they entered their data, and so they could do their statistical analysis on their individual data, but we also had class totals data, so we could compare small sample size data to big sample size data. And that pilot experience in evolution was so successful that it inspired me to try something similar for genetics. So what I've done so far in genetics is created what I'm calling a learning lab. So a Minecraft world where I'm setting up both structural models. This is a model of DNA structure, the molecular structure of DNA. This is the structure of the double helix in 2 dimensions and then in 3 dimensions. And so students can explore, the types of bonds that connect different nucleotides and different molecules. And then I have chromosomal structure here with centromeres in brown and different alleles in different colors of wool, and then this would be a bacterial chromosome. So the goal would be that students could join this world synchronously or asynchronously and explore the various structures pertinent to the content that we're covering at any moment. And I also wanted to use this world to simulate some of the dynamic processes that we study in genetics. So this is a simulation that I built using command blocks and coding to recreate DNA replication. So this is a single-stranded DNA molecule where each of the bases is represented by a different color of wool. And then I have a DNA polymerase molecule that's going to be on a minecart that's going to go through and it's going to read what base is at each position, and then it's going to add the complementary base. So hopefully this would be a good way for students to understand and visualize DNA replication, but also understand some of the processes, like the coding processes that it takes to make this happen. So I'm going to give the DNA polymerase a little kick on this activated rail, and it'll do its thing. So as that command block goes through, it's going to activate each base. It's going to read what the base pair is and add the corresponding nucleotide. So now we have a double-stranded molecule where I have one mutation where I accidentally disabled that little activator rail, but mutations happen.